This is Greg Pound again. We're going to do another documentary of the code enforcement here in Pinellas County. And we're going to speak with Rose Thompson. And we're just happen to be at Panera Bread store, so the noise and stuff in the back is, we'll do the best we can to speak up so you can hear us. What we want to bring up is Rose is going to explain to you basically what she's done. She's worked in the court system for 25 years, and then she's worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office for 14 years in Tampa, and she took care of 4 different offices, and she'll explain some of this stuff, and I'll just try to ask her questions to pull out some information. So Rose, you worked 25 years. Where was that at? You worked on?
Mostly in New York, Rochester, New York. Rochester,
New York. And then you worked 14 years in Tampa. Is that, okay, and you took care of 4 different offices, is that right? And what were those offices?
Jacksonville, Orlando, Fort Myers, and Tampa.
In Tampa. Okay. Now, what it is Rose has been charged with by code enforcement for feeding a cat, feeding cats, a stray cat, and what it is she's been fined
$148 for feeding the cats, and well, it was actually $20 for an unlicensed inside cat that's 12 years old and never leaves the house.
She has her own inside cat that doesn't leave the house, and she was. So you're fined $20 for that too?
Yeah. First he said 40, and I showed him the license. He said, "Well, I'll only charge you 20."
Okay. So what it is she had a cat in the house. It's a house cat that never comes outside. She's had that cat for how many years?
12 years.
12 years. And Rose and her husband lives in Pinellas County, and she was fined $20 for that, then $148 for feeding stray cats or cats in the neighborhood or whatever. And so where we're at now is she's going to try to explain to you just the treatment that she's received. And as I sat in court with her, and I could see not only her, another lady was in there, an elderly lady about 70, she was 75, 78 years old, whose water went off, and she ended up getting fined for her water being turned off. And her bill was, and it was just totally insane. I mean, she had to pay. I hope to interview her also. You remember her, Rose?
Yeah,
right? Remember? Right. So, Rose, what do you think about the situation, the way you've been treated by the code enforcement in Pinellas County?
It's not right, because they entered my house. They were going to discuss something with me. I had just had surgery on my eyes in the morning. It was not a good time. I was never pre-notified of this ordinance, and I didn't feel the way they went out. They were rude. This particular officer was rude, and she had made up her mind that she was going to give me a citation for for feeding cats. I never heard of such a thing. We had nothing like that where I previously lived in New York State.
Right. Well, see, they're generating revenue. So when they come out, it's just like law enforcement now. When they come out,
but they should pre-warn you that aware of this particular statute. I worked in the criminal division. I don't know anything about the civil end of the law, and I didn't know I was breaking the law. How many people in St. Petersburg feed cats that are not aware? I've talked to several people who say, "Oh, I feed cats. I feed cats." I even talked to my veterinarian about this particular matter. He said, "Well, everybody feeds cats."
Right.
And he said, "I can't believe that they would do this to you." Well, they did.
Well, a lot of people don't know what's going on because it's happening to us individually. They got us divided now as a community. We have no more community town hall meetings, and we don't. It's so divided up. And usually the county commissioners in this county know this is going on.
Well, another thing is, I really feel that whoever is the head of animal control is doing a previous employee of code enforcement a favor. So I think she's misusing her office for the benefit of her friend. Her friend is living with a woman who is mental. And they didn't want to hear my side of the story. They were only interested in the complaint.
Yeah.
And they tell me that cats carry disease. Well, people carry disease too.
Right. Bird flu is right.
Birds do too. Are we supposed to live in a glass bubble?
Right. Right.
You know, I can't be afraid of every little thing.
Right.
If I'm going to get something, I'm going to get it, whether it's from cats or people or whatever.
Right. So you're saying, Rose, now your sister died. Your only sister died 3 days prior to this.
Right. I told her then I can't deal with this problem at this present time. I just had surgery. I've been in the hospital twice. Once in June.
And you just got out of the hospital, was it that morning?
No. In June I was in the hospital, and in August. And then I had home nursing care. After that, I had to have the eye surgery. But my illnesses, the eyes and the other illness I had were not related. In January of 2011, I was in an automobile accident. Through no fault of mine, somebody ran into the back of me. And so it's been a very bad year for me. If somebody had come to my door and just made me aware of this situation, I couldn't. I have a sick husband at home. I could not function myself because I was in a weakened condition. I tried to explain that to them.
And they wouldn't listen.
They would not listen. They were very unreasonable and very rude. I am a citizen and I pay taxes
Right.
for this county, which pays for their sale.
Right. Well, they're like the Gestapo.
You treat the people with respect. I don't care if you're a janitor. You treat them with respect. And you don't listen to just one side of the story. If they were willing to just walk in and right away write me up for feeding stray cats, if that's the worst thing I can do in my life, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, you do have a clean record, isn't that correct?
Yeah, I have a clean record.
Right.
And to get this citation or an ordinance or whatever it might be, it's very disturbing.
It is. It is. Well, see, Rose, it's really sad because I was there this morning for the fact that they have a Green Thumb Festival that's over off of Tyrone Boulevard, and I bought some grass there, what is called fountain grass, planted it in our backyard, a part of our landscaping, with a 6-foot privacy fence. The code enforcement takes a picture of the grass and he says, "You need to cut that down." He said, "You got weeds and you're not cutting your grass." I said, "Sir," I said, "I cut my grass. I keep my grass like a carpet. I keep that grass. I mean, I got an electric lawnmower. I cut my grass and it doesn't cost me nothing, and I keep that place." And so it's the insanity is that they won't listen to you. The next thing is I take my license plate off my car because I'm waxing and buffing my car out, and my plate is flat on the back of my tailgate on my, I had a little Chevy Tracker, and I would have to take that off because the buffing wheel would hit that and it'd tear the buffing wheel off. So what I would do is just take 2 screws, take that off. Code enforcement, I don't know how it is, he comes out at the very time I got that off for 2 hours, gives me a ticket, and they want over $100, and for one, I think it was $96 for another. And the insanity is, I mean, who ever heard of getting a ticket for taking your license plate off? Doesn't mean your car's not plated or insured. The car's always been plated and insured.
Well, all you have to do is produce your registration.
Yeah.
They would know that it's properly.
Yeah, it's real simple. The thing is now you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, I got to prove. It's totally. I mean, they've got laws for the laws, and some of the people who are representing them leave a lot to be desired.
Oh yeah, they hire. It seems like they hire.
They're probably somebody's niece or somebody's cousin or somebody.
Right, right.
You know, the good old boys.
The good old boys. That's right. Well, Rose, I don't know what else we can say except I would like to have you just tell that She told you that if you did get a license for the
she
cat.
said that if I got a license for the cat, she would dismiss the charge on that. She never did.
Okay, and
So
now
she lies.
Okay, now someone well, you have a situation. Someone's lying, either you or her, is what they'll say.
Well, I could produce this.
Yeah, you went ahead. You got the license.
Yeah.
The little here's the little license right here. She went ahead and got that, and she told her if she gets a license for her house cat, that she would dismiss this, and that would.
She never did.
She never did.
I really think it was over. This happened over the long weekend. As soon as everything was established, the offices opened up. My vet came to my home to give the cat the shots and to properly license the cat. Came to my home.
Came to your home to do that.
Yeah, because I explained the situation to him and said I am not able to put the cat in the cat carrier.
Can you imagine all the hell they're putting people through? It sounds.
In fact, the vet had a hard time because the cat ran away from her.
Right.
And she had an assistant with her, and between the two of them, they managed to give the cat the shot and test it and so forth.
Right.
So, the cat is properly licensed now.
What does your husband think about all this?
He's very upset. And he doesn't know what to do because he's not well. He can't. He's fallen down 4 times in a week.
He's fallen down 4 times in a week?
Yeah, he's all black and blue. He has trouble with holding his neck up, which makes his equilibrium off, makes him dizzy, and he could trip on his own feet. He was a business owner for over 30 years. 30 years while we've been in Florida. And previous to that, we had the same he had a different type of business, but related to the field he was in. He was a printer. And up in New York State, he serviced printing equipment. And he used to travel all over New York State. So, we were since we've moved here, we put deposits down, and before purchasing our house, we put deposits down on rentals, and they were supposed to give us our money back, and we never got the money back. That's another thing. These landlords, they make you sign a contract. If you take them to court, you lose all the money, and
it's just really a mess.
It's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
You might just about get stuck with the law.
Well, Rose, this is one of the reasons why I'm running for sheriff, is because they're now forced to generate revenue in order to keep their jobs. These guys are under pressure in order to provide. They have to come out and they have to create something out of nothing in order to keep their jobs, and that's what they've done with you. And it's just so sad. I mean, you've worked 25 years in the court system. You worked 14 years for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Tampa and these other places in the state, and now you're experiencing something that you just,
I just don't comprehend how they could get away with it.
Right.
Because to me, they are the criminals.
To you, they are the criminals, and that's the way a lot of other people are seeing it.
Because you don't treat people that way.
Right.
And it's like I say, I don't care what your job is. When we go home at night, we take off our clothes.
Right.
No matter what our job is during the
right.
day, we all undress. We're
right.
all the same.
You're right. You're right. It's a very good point. Well, Rose, I want to thank you very much, and I'll give you the information where you can watch this. And this is Greg Pound for Sheriff 2012, and thank you very much for watching this, and send it out to 10 other people you know. Take this YouTube account, send it out, and let people see what's happening to the elderly, to our young people, and watch the rest of the documentation on his YouTube, Greg Pound for Sheriff 2012. We need to clean this up. It's we the people, and if we don't stand together, we're not going to stand at all. So thank you very much, Rose.